Alright. Let's talk about the big new thing, Chaos in Infinity Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new element coming to Norheim, Chaos. It was released today with patch notes on patch 2.4. What do we know right now? We know that Chaos is a brand new element. We know that Chaos will shift element based on the rest of the Immortals in your lineup. It'll work towards the elemental bonuses of anything. So if you're running 3 Water Immortals and a Chaos Immortal, it'll count as 4 Water Immortals towards the Water Immortal bonus. We also know that Loki is the first Chaos Immortal to be released. Loki is going to be released for servers in Season 2 and above. This element is something completely new. So far we've had strong buffs by combining Immortals of the same elemental type with our marches. Despite these buffs, we've seen some of the most powerful builds be hybrid builds, or at least not 5 stacked elemental setups. Why? Simply because the 5th elemental bonus is nowhere near as powerful as the 3rd and the 4th elemental buff. That being said, only very few builds until now has been able to work with only 3 of a certain element. Let's be honest guys, the only element that works as a 3 bonus is the Wind-Earth hybrid. Everything else kinda needs the 4th elemental buff. That means that we've been kinda locked into our elemental stables. We've been forced to not use interesting Immortals in our builds as we don't want to lose that juicy 4 bonus. Well, no more. Chaos Elemental is pure chaos, and it turns our Immortals, the way we think about Immortals, completely upside down. Chaos Immortals will count towards any elemental bonus, so now we can compose much more complex and sophisticated builds. We thought hybrids was fun theory crafting. Well, this is gonna be the same thing but on steroids. Let's take an example. Let's say Earth, right? Right now you want to run either Khan or Bethany in the backline along with Zeno or Cleopatra. Not because we actually like Cleo or Zeno, but because we want that 4 bonus and we can't get it unless we have either of these Immortals. Well, now we can use the Chaos Loki alongside our Khan or Bethany in the backline and still remain with the 4 elemental affinity buff. For now, we only have Loki as a Chaos Immortal, but as the stable of Chaos Immortals grow and the opportunities for creating many different builds, they're gonna explode, and we're gonna kind of break free from the limits of these elemental bonuses. I'm personally amazed with this new element. I think it's a very, very interesting development to Infinity Kingdom and build crafting. I think it makes the meta and building counter setups a lot more interesting and gives rise to new meta ideas. So, what do we not know yet? We do not know how many Immortals will be released as Chaos, but we can only assume that, seeing as the gallery is quite empty, there's gonna be more of them. We also don't know if they're gonna be free to play or pay to play. We don't know what kind of in-game event they'll be in, how we're gonna unlock them. I personally hold a candle of prayer for the sake of the Infinity Kingdom community, and wish that these, at least some of these new Chaos Immortals are going to be free for all players. I think it would be the single best decision ever made by the dev team if Infinity Kingdom gets this added to the free-to-play player base. Infinity Kingdom's lifespan would expand by multiple years if free-to-play players are given the tools to theorycraft and compose complex setups involving some of the... right now we have quite a lot of strong free-to-play Immortals, but we cannot use them because we need to achieve these elemental bonuses, and they're hidden away behind pay-to-play barriers. So, let's dive into Loki, the first Immortal of the Chaos element. He's gonna be a backline bowman. He'll be a magic mage Immortal, and his ultimate ability is called Realm of Lies, in line with the Norse mythology. Loki. He deals magic damage to all enemies and has a chance to cause confuse for 6 seconds. If the target is inflicted with bleed or tear, then the chance of inflicting confuse will be increased by 25%. So what's confuse? Confuse is a control mechanic. It was introduced with the Shadow Immortal Tomris. Confusing means that a mortal becomes, confused and begins to attack its own fellow immortals. It's a very powerful ability that has been... I can see it being very, very powerful if the chances of causing confuse is high enough. And given that it interacts with bleed and tear mechanics, it seems that we can quite easily reach a high enough threshold for this proc chance to be very, very impactful and quite powerful. We do not know what the base % chance to cause confuse is going to be for Loki's Realm of Lies ability, but we do know that simply by having tear and bleed on our enemies, we can boost the chance to confuse by 25% respectively. This leads into what is bleed and tear. Some of you may not know, but bleed and tear are both damage over time dot effects. They're derived from the Tower of Knowledge passives, Garrote and Chaotic Blade. By having, this means that potentially we can perform quite well in a control-centric build using Loki, as he will scale quite well for, I think he's going to scale pretty well for developing players, seen as it scales off of Chaotic Blade and Garrote, which is available quite early on. Likewise, endgame players, players who's already reached C50 and maybe has 3 competitive marches, he's likely going to perform quite well as a second or third march, given that he synergizes with the Garrote and Chaotic Blade passives, which you're likely going to be running on either the second or your third march. Lastly, how do we obtain this guy? All servers that have reached Season 2 will be able to unlock Loki. Loki's fragments are going to be obtained from an unspecified event, so all we can do for now is stay tuned on the in-game event calendar and look for him. That's it for this quick update on the 2.4 patch notes. There were a couple different things in there on unique artifacts and a couple of optimization things. I'm not going to go into that with that for now. I think the real big hitter is the chaos element introduction. As always, please do subscribe to the channel. I consistently release new content here on the IK channel and on the official IK Wiki website. Links are in the description. On these channels you can find guides from everything in IK, from events to talents, passives, finished builds and game mechanics. With that, I'm gonna leave you, and as always, thank you for watching and see you for the next one.